But you can't have a standard education and expect to have an extraordinary life. It's not going to happen. The one breakthrough for all leaders is constant, never-ending improvement. And that means educating yourself and continuing to develop even greater emotional mastery, because that's what affects whether you execute or not. The opportunity for self-education is there. We have to change our psychology from, I'm going to do what everybody else does and I'm mad because it doesn't work anymore, to the reality is this is the greatest time to be alive if you're growing, you're learning, you're educating, and you're developing valuable skills. So instead of complaining, you got to say, where are the skill sets valued in the marketplace? And how do I work harder on myself than anything else? Because if I become more valuable, then I will be able to give more, do more, and change more. When I interviewed Warren Buffett, I asked the most important investment he ever made in his life. You know what he said it was? I was thinking all the companies he'd done, He said, Tony, go into Dale Carnegie. I said, what? He goes, because by developing myself, that's the most important investment. Those skill sets, learning how to persuade, learning how to speak, learning how to influence, all my ideas would have died on my lips if I hadn't been able to influence, and I learned it from that little course. Most valuable thing I ever did in my life, he said.
Self-improvement is the answer to whatever obstacle is staring you in the face right now. The only difference between you and greatness is the willingness to grow and improve. It's not talent, it's not smarts, it's the willingness to improve yourself. The difference between you and Tony Robbins is he has spent more time constantly improving himself than most people on the planet. Here's a guy who had multiple fathers growing up, had an abusive mother who at 17 he had to run away from home so he could become a janitor and never go to college. He then decided to be a success. He read 700 books in 7 years. He studied under mentors like Jim Rohn, and today he's the founder or owner of companies with over $6 billion in annual revenue. If Tony Robbins can go from being an abused janitor with no college education to being one of the most influential people in the world, why can't you? The difference is he made the investment to constantly improve himself, and you haven't yet at that level. So I look at my channel as an example, my YouTube channel, and I've learned so much over the past number of years in confidence, in growth, in abilities, in skills by consuming the content. Because I love the top 10 series and the Mentor Me series and the Espresso series. I make them for me and then I share them with you, and thankfully you guys like them too, and I can build a business off of it and keep pumping out more content. But it helps me. I've grown, I've learned. And one of the biggest moments that helped me realize how much I've learned is when I signed a 3-year deal with Sage. I was working with Stephen Kelly, who is the CEO, and every month we'd be on a call. We'd be doing a hangout on my YouTube channel, answering questions from people. And I was driving with my dad, and I remember him asking me, how do you get the confidence to be on a call with Stephen Kelly and be seen as his equal all the time? And he wasn't asking me to put me down. He was asking me in genuine awe of, he was so happy for me that I was playing a bigger game. And it dawned on me that he was right. The Evan of 5 years ago wouldn't have been able to do that. The Evan of 5 years ago would have felt less than. The Evan of 5 years ago would have said, there's no way I'm capable of doing that. And then when I'd signed the deal, I felt like, it's great. I love Stephen, he's amazing, but I feel like I'm hanging out with Oprah and Kanye and Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and these super successful people, and they're infiltrating my brain on a daily basis, right? A daily basis. 3 videos every single day on this channel. And so bit by bit, it pulls me up. Now I've recognized I still have a long way to go. I still have so much more to learn. I still need to believe in myself even more. And every time I consume more content, it allows me to grow my comfort zone a little bit more. And the funny thing is, all of these moments are little tiny incremental parts of your growth. I couldn't point you to one point in my past where I said, that was the moment that I changed. That was the moment that I had more confidence. But as I studied every day, I could look back 3 months, 6 months, a year and say, wow, I've really changed. I've really grown. I've really learned a lot. But in the daily, from today to yesterday, I'd say I didn't grow at all. And so sometimes on your journeys, you're trying to learn and get better. You may feel like the growth is really slow on a daily basis, but if you keep going, you keep investing, you keep learning, you keep seeking out mentors, you keep trying to get better and improve. Not every day will be amazing, but if you try every day to get better and learn, I can guarantee you that in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, when you look back of the person you've become compared to what you are right now, there'll be a big change. And that's because you continue to invest in yourself. So I'm going to give you a 3-step process to how to create a customized program for you so that you can become world-class at the thing that you want to be world-class at. Step 1, decide what you want to be world-class at. You could be world-class at a lot of things with enough energy, effort, wisdom, pouring in to you, practice, repetition, you can be world-class at something. But what in your core, what is the thing that you need to be world-class at? What is the burning desire in you that you say, I want to be among the best in the world at what? Fill that in. What do you want to be world-class at? Number 2, immerse yourself in that environment. The fastest way to learn a language, the fastest way to learn Japanese is not from a textbook, it's not from going to classes, it's to go to Japan. You need to immerse yourself in the environment. Whatever the thing is that you want to be great at, the more you are around it, people who are doing it, people who are speaking it, people who are living it, the more it will rub off onto you and the faster it will rub off onto you. Now, it can be a physical environment, or it could also be from the content that you're consuming. I get it a lot from my own YouTube videos because I feel like I'm around Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and Oprah Winfrey every single day. And the more you immerse yourself in that environment, the more their mindset, the more their motivation, the more their confidence is going to stick with you to help you go be world class at the thing that you want to be great at. And then step number 3 is practice every single day. You need to practice every single day. It's not enough just to be around it. You need to practice. You got to do. You want to be world class at something, right? That requires daily dedication. The reason why I got better at making my content, my videos, is I've done 6,000 videos. 1,000 videos aren't even public on my channel. We've thrown away more videos than most people ever create on their channel. And it's not because I'm amazing. Go back. Like, I encourage you, go back and look at my first videos. I sucked. It was brutal. It's because I said I want to be great at this thing. And I surrounded myself with people who could help push me and I could learn from. And then I practice every single day. The reason why I pass people who I consider to be a lot better than me at this is because I put in more work. Because when people had a hard time finding time to make 1 video a week, I was doing 3 a day. And if you take that same approach, if you take that same mindset of I'm just going to outwork everybody around me, I'm going to outwork my competition, when they may have a hard time finding time to do that thing that they need to get better at once a week, and you're doing it 3 times a day, you will blow past people who are more naturally talented because you have put in the work to get good at your skill. Now, I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But first, question of the day, I want to know, what is the one area of your life that you want to improve most? Let me know. Put it in the comments below.
You are all hopelessly average by birth. We all are. And that's the great news. Because the most important thing to understand about the human species, we are the ultimate adaptation machine. If you guys were paying attention, not too long ago, they sequenced the human genome and they realized that the human genome has 20,000 genes. And everybody, they thought that they were going to cure cancer, all the diseases, age-related disease, everything, type 1, type 2 diabetes was all going to be a thing of the past. We were going to have it figured out. And then we realized that an onion has more genetic diversity than we do. And how could that be? And so they're literally going, is this really possible? Do we misunderstand something? Like, how is it that an onion has more genetic diversity than we have? And somebody finally said, hey, maybe all this stuff that we've been referring to as junk DNA, maybe it actually plays a role. And then they began to realize that all that junk DNA that was outside of those 20,000 genes that we saw expressing themselves is what is called epigenetics. Now, if you've ever heard of epigenetics, that's amazing. You're way ahead. If you haven't heard of epigenetics, let it become one of the most important things in your life, because epigenetics is what has made us the most dominant species this planet has ever seen. It is the only thing that you need to know. It's what I call the only belief that matters. The only belief that matters is that you can learn anything. I don't need you to believe that you're good now. That doesn't matter. Who you are now is totally irrelevant. The only thing I want to know, who are you willing to become and what's the price you're willing to pay to get there? And that's what humans are designed to do. If you put us under stress, we can learn something new. We can get better.
If I want to do something, I find somebody that's already done it. And then I do exactly what they tell me. It's a simple rule to follow. I I don't read novels. I don't watch movies. I'd watch documentaries or things like that where I can learn. I'm only interested in studying something that can cause me to become more of what I'm capable of being. See, I think we're all hardwired to do something really special with our life. And that's all I want to do. I'm really good at what I do. I could walk by a person in the hall and like that, I could tell them exactly what they're like. I could read their energy like a book. Everything goes on the inside, shows on the outside. See, we're gifted with faculties of the mind that the average person knows nothing about. You have intuition, the will, reason, imagination, perception, memory. That's what separates us from all the rest of forms of life. We go through school and never learn anything about it. Like you'll hear people say they have a bad memory. There's no such thing as a bad memory. Everybody has a perfect memory. It's just weak. They've never developed it. Our imagination. Your imagination is the most magnificent. Hill said it's the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force the world's ever known. I can use my imagination to project myself into the future and bring the future into the present and start living there. You work from the imagination. You don't work to it. You work from it.
Backwards from the result.
Yeah.
And if you want more Tony Robbins, check out the 8 hours of Tony Robbins motivation video I made. The link is right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
One of the biggest challenges for people is everybody wants a better quality of life. Everybody wants life to be greater, but almost all of us get stuck at times